respected judges. We are Team BUET-0106-25 presenting our solution for aligning GHG goals across Michelin and its key suppliers. We begin by understanding Michelin emission system. The organizational boundary includes only assets Michelin directly controls all own plants, manufacturing sites, and offices worldwide. The operational boundary extends this view to upstream and downstream activities. For energy, this includes suppliers such as Duke Energy and ExxonMobil, and for materials, partners like Bekaert, which supply steels. The material linkage illustrates how purchased input indirectly contribute to Michelin's footprint. Mapping this flow helps identify where decarbonization will deliver the highest impact. Our assessments have several structural challenges across four dimensions like environmental, economic, operational, social, and governance. Together, these issues slow progress, reduce data credibility, and exposes Michelin to regulatory and supply chain risks. For this, we propose a step-by-step alignment framework like Unified Emission Data Foundation, standardized baseline and target alignment, incentivized supplier engagement, joint decarbonization projects, continuous monitoring and governance, transparent reporting, and continuous improvement. Supplier alignment is essential because most of the Michelin carbon footprint is created outside its own factory. Over 70% of Michelin emissions are attributed to suppliers, making alignment essential. Shared accountability ensures consistent Scope 3 reporting. Government and customers now demand science-based, verified value chain reduction, making supplier transparency central to Michelin credibility. Collaboration unlocks innovation, and finally, alignment reduces regulatory risks and stabilizes long-term supply. Benefits of supply alignment are shared data transparency, baseline consistency, collaborative innovation, and brand and compliance safeguards, which reduce reputational and regulatory risks. Companies balance cost, reliability, and speed by using renewable plus backup energy for uptime, co-investing in low-carbon R&D with suppliers to share costs, and aligning on verified targets to quickly deploy low-carbon solutions. Across suppliers, we see varying ambition levels. Some commit to a 50% absolute reduction by 2030, while others demonstrate reduction of around 46.2% in Scope 1 and 2 and 19.7% in Scope 3. A few use intensity-based matrices. This comparison reveals uneven progress toward the 2030 goal and highlights where alignment is most needed.
Hello everyone, this is Atika Alom and I will now proceed with the next slides. Here are the top 5 gaps across Michelin, ExxonMobil, Bekaert and Duke Energy. Today's gap analysis highlights key differences across 5 companies in their climate strategies. Michelin shows the strongest ambition with full value chain coverages, with others lacking Scope 3 inclusion and consistent baselines. Data verification also varies widely, weakening compatibility. Milestones and incentives are often unclear and compatibility constraints, especially regulatory and financing barriers, slow progress. Overall, the highest priorities lie in standardizing baselines and strengthening data assurance to drive credible decarbonization. Moving into our next slide, let's take a look at the key stakeholders who make effective emission management possible. Effective emission management relies on strong collaboration across both internal and external stakeholders. Internally, leadership sets the direction, while sustainability teams coordinate reporting and engagement. Operations, R&D, and finance help integrate efficiency, innovation, and investment. Externally, suppliers, electricity providers, and customers play crucial roles by sharing data, co-developing low-carbon solutions, and meeting joint targets. Industry groups and regulators further strengthen the process through guidance and compliance. Together, these stakeholders create a unified pathway towards meaningful decarbonization. Then come roles, influence, and involvement of stakeholders. On the left, stakeholders are grouped by engagement level. Leadership and key suppliers collaborate on major decisions. Operations, ESG, and procurement teams are involved in implementation. Customers, partners, and NGOs are consulted for input, and staff and minor suppliers are informed through updates. On the right, the power interest map highlights high-power groups such as Regulators, leadership, finance, procurement, and sustainability teams, while high interest groups like operations, customers, and NGOs influence execution. Minor suppliers have lower influence but still require communication. Now let's dive into the powerful advantages of supplier GHG alignment and verification. Long-term cost decrease through improved energy efficiency and reduced exposure to carbon taxes. Supply chain resilience strengthens and as suppliers comply with global carbon regulations. Verified low-carbon suppliers gain preference, boosting market differentiation, while ESG credibility improves through lower financing costs and enhanced brand reputation. On the right, the impacts become clearer. Organizations achieve more accurate carbon accounting, strong decision making, and a sharper B2B competitive edge. Access to green financing increases, verified claims reduce greenwashing risk, and alignment with global standards enhances operational consistency. Here's how global standards play a pivotal role in aligning supplier emissions. At the top are the key frameworks: GHG protocols, SBTi, ISO 14064, 14067, and the EU CSRD defining how emissions are measured, reported, and verified. Their roles include setting clear boundaries and enabling supplier compatibility for better procurement decisions. Together, they provide the foundation for credible supplier emissions alignment. That's all from my side. The remaining slides will be presented by my teammates.
Hello there, I'm Mohammad Rahman Tassim. Up until now, my team members have addressed the gaps in Michelin supply chain and the role of global standards. But now I will discuss a real-life example of lack of alignment. Let's analyze the Dieselgate scandal case study. Volkswagen's clean diesel promise was entirely dependent on Bosch's engine control unit technology. The defeat device was the result of a complete lack of verification and ethical alignment, leading to emissions 40 times the legal limit. The consequences were obviously catastrophic, both environmentally and economically. 11 million vehicles causing massive environmental damage, over $35 billion in financial losses, and a complete reputational collapse. So the lesson is clear: Michelin supplier goals are a direct threat to financial stability and brand integrity. So we learn 4 non-negotiable principles. The first one is alignment must be ethical and transparent, not just contractual, so that we can achieve actual decarbonization. Then independent third-party verification is mandatory. This is the only way to ensure data is credible by removing bias. Then full lifecycle transparency should be guaranteed. Michelin must have end-to-end visibility to accurately manage its largest emission source, the Scope 3 supply chain. And proactive and robust governance is the only defense, so that we can assure joint accountability. Then we head on to identify the key challenges we will face when we try to align the GHG goals across all the companies. For inconsistent baselines, our solution is one unified framework to ensure everyone is on track. Second, we have varying scope definitions, meaning Scope 3 emissions are poorly tracked. So we will establish a joint governance board to conduct review cycles and milestone tracking. Third, fragmented data verification, aka data inconsistency. A centralized digital platform will perform automated detection to flag these inconsistencies and ensure transparent data flow. And for Michelin milestones, we will create shared KPIs and reduction pathways so that cross suppliers are on the same roadmap. Now, the SCSCA agreement and its pillars should be based on each of these mitigation plans. The Supply Chain Sustainability Cooperation Agreement is the framework that defines how the entire supply chain will operate. The purpose of this agreement is collaborative decarbonization roadmap that aligns GHG targets, strengthens data accuracy, and accelerates Scope 3 reduction. Here, Michelin's role is to be the enabler, providing technical guidance and facilitating incentives. On the other hand, the supplier's role is to be the active partner, providing verified scope data, engaging in reduction efforts. Now, the agreement is based on 4 core pillars. Pillar 1, shared climate goals, aligns everyone to credible science-based targets, incentives, and common baseline and synchronous milestones. Pillar 2, standardized measurement. It mandates harmonized boundaries to close loopholes and third-party verification to ensure data integrity. Then digital dashboard and uniform templates will make reporting more efficient. Pillar 3, performance accountability. It creates a steering committee which conducts quarterly reviews and supplier scorecards to oversee performance. Pillar 4, joint innovation. It establishes a co-funded R&D process to accelerate low-carbon solutions. This entire framework is measured by clear KPIs including renewable energy share, carbon intensity and others so that we can track whole progress properly. Next up, based on the agreement, we will develop the practical alignment roadmap. It begins with 5 integrated actions with clear owners. Renewable electricity adoption with Duke Energy that directly tackles Scope 2 emissions. Then decarbonize steel production to intervene in critical Scope 3 emissions. Also, the integration of circular feedstocks will reduce the carbon intensity of synthetic rubber. Then energy efficiency plans decreases baseline energy use and transparent data reporting owned by Michelin, ESG team and all suppliers. This integrated approach is mapped onto a pragmatic timeline and targets. We start in year 2026 with a 50% energy intensity reduction for an early win. We then scale to increasing renewables in 2027 and tackle deeper Scope 3 emissions in consecutive years. Each target has a specific expected impact, from an initial 12% cut in Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions growing to a full Scope 3 traceability through ongoing audits. This creates a crucial feedback and decision analysis loop for the Joint Committee, making this a living system of continuous improvement, not just an static plan. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Hello everyone. A key part of our strategy is integrating emission performance directly into procurement, while ensuring the process remains fair, consistent, and transparent. This integration process is structured through 5 carefully considered steps. First, establishing fair comparison, then checking progress against our defined emission milestone. Third, incorporating carbon intensity for evaluating new suppliers. Fourth, focusing on major emitters for maximum impact. And finally, post-verification process will solidify ongoing accuracy. To support these steps, there are essential guardrails, which includes data verification, legal compliance, transparency, and a precise weighted scoring model to ensure fairness. Now, looking at the financial foundation of the decarbonization actions, renewable energy sourcing with a $5 million investment generates $1.8 million annually, giving a 36% ROI and has the largest emission impact. Low carbon materials R&D is our strategic powerhouse. A $1.5 million investment produces $1.5 million in annual benefits with an astonishing ROI above 200% and highest NPV at $4.92 million. The supplier capacity buildings shows a near-term negative NPV. It is purely strategic and is essential for long-term alignment and stronger supply chain capabilities. This investment together build both environmental and financial resilience. To sustain progress, we must enable continuous emission monitoring. This ensures full visibility across Scope 1, 2, and 3, helps detect issues early, supports data-driven decisions, and reinforces transparency. For advanced monitoring, we will deploy synchronized tools such as carbon accounting software like Persephone for accurate data validation, intensity dashboard, and KPIs for real-time insights and data visualization, supplier scorecards to evaluate carbon performance of the suppliers, benchmarking against internal targets, and SBTi for precise tracking. This ecosystem will be supported by regular reviews and governance meetings for oversight with correction measures. As our proposal is heavily dependent on data collection and processing, artificial intelligence can be a great help here in data collection and integration. However, we approach this powerful tool with a cautious understanding of the inherent risks. This includes our reliance on AI models, the potential for data accuracy and bias to skew insights, challenge in maintaining transparency and accountability in complex algorithms, the sensitive issue of exposure of proprietary supply data. To effectively mitigate these concerns, we will instate human-in-loop validation. Standardized data sources will be utilized for feeding the AI model. We will prioritize and develop explainable AI tools that clearly present the reasoning with confidence level. Continuous iterative testing will be done before implementing the AI model into the system. This ensures AI enhances decision quality without compromising on accuracy or any confidentiality. These are the differences supporting our data and recommendations. This concludes our presentation. We thank you for your attention and have a great day ahead.